All right, hey guys, welcome back. This is the first video in Unit 2, and it's actually going to be the only video that I'm going to make in Unit 2 because we've got a pretty long documentary that is going to take up most of your video time. Unit 2 is going to be about corporations, but before we get to corporations, I want to just kind of review where we've been. The course is on organizations, obviously, and we defined organizations last time as aggregates of statuses within a particular social institution that we then turn into fictional symbols. So, to remind you, here's my dumb drawing of society. I've got culture, the culture side labeled here. You are put into this machine. The culture influences your thoughts. The social structure influences your behaviors. And social institutions are part of that social structure side. And where we're going to locate organizations are fictional symbols, but they're aggregates of statuses. So we're going to spend our time here. You remember, social institutions are patterned ways of meeting needs. So after this week, we're going to go into particular organizations within particular social institutions. But corporations are such a big part of our lives and transcend multiple different social institutions that we're going to have an introductory week just on them. To finish my review, crucial points about organizations. First of all, they're fictional. Second of all, they influence us to behave in ways we otherwise wouldn't. Evidence of you is you watching this video despite the fact that you're not interested in it. Third point, and this is a point that I don't think I made in Unit 1, but it was made in the chapter from Sapiens that we read, which is that the whole point of organizations is that they allow us to cooperate with people that we don't know. And just take a moment to kind of consider that amazing creation by us. We're the only animals that does this. All other animals are limited in their cooperation by their genetics. But right now, you know me about this much, and I know you about that much. We don't have any good reason to trust each other at all, except for the fact that we are both affiliated with this university. And this university is fictional. It's something that was imagined into existence. So our ability to cooperate to create your education is completely based on this amazing creation of human beings, the ability to invent fictional organizations. Okay, the last point, so the fourth point in review. First point is they're fictional. Second point is that they influence us to act in ways we wouldn't ordinarily. Third is that they allow us to cooperate. Fourth is that they have real consequences. Despite the fact that organizations are fictional, that we imagine them into existence, if you decide to blow my class off and fail my class and then fail out of the university, there are going to be very real life consequences for you. You may not have access to the amount of income and wealth that you would later on want, which means, in the worst case scenario, you end up without a place to live or without enough to eat. Those are very, very real consequences that stem from this this imagined into existence fictional organization. Your performance in it, despite the fact that it's fictional, has real life consequences for you. And you can even feel them I kind of went into the future about your income and wealth, but the fact that you feel stress, not necessarily at this moment, but when the test comes up, you will feel stress. Some of you will get so stressed that you're sick to your stomach. Don't stress on my class that much. It's not that big of a deal, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. But think about that. That is a very real physiological reaction to what is being asked of you in this fictional thing that we just made up. That's an incredible realization. And it brings me to a concept that you may have been introduced to in Introduction to Sociology. It's called the Thomas Theorem. And the Thomas Theorem roughly says, if we believe something to be real, it will have real consequences. It's often used, or at least I use it when I teach intro, in the section on the social construction of reality. Reality being something that is socially constructed, but once it's built, it's real and it has real consequences. Like the idea of you being stressed out about school, despite the fact that it's something we imagined into existence. Okay, that is it for my review. Sorry, I got to scroll down a little bit. Okay, and I said that what we're going to do in Unit 2 is deal with a particular type of organization called a corporation. I'm not going to say a whole lot about corporations because the documentary that I'm going to show you is vast in terms of what it covers. And so rather than repeat what they say in a less interesting way, I will allow them to say it in a more interesting way. I am going to have for you a study guide for this documentary. The documentary is called The Corporation. The study guide is not something you're going to turn in, but it is absolutely something that you should watch the documentary with and complete as you are watching it, because the test questions that will be based on the film The Corporation will come straight off that study guide. So study guide in front of you. Watch the film. You can obviously pause at any time and fill in the answers, but know the study guide well. The biggest challenge for you, aside from completing the study guide, and I think that's all I have to say about that, about the study guide, the biggest challenge for you is when we're studying corporations, we have a sort of learned sense of them. They seem very real because you can go to Target and buy stuff. It's got a physical building and a bunch of employees. You use General Electric to like appliances that work for you in a very real way. The challenge for you while we're dealing with corporations is to remember that despite their seeming reality, they are fictional things. At the end of the day, it's a whole bunch of people, sometimes thousands of people, who are acting in certain ways because we all believe in this fiction. I want you to keep that in mind because some of the stuff you're going to see corporations being responsible for are tremendous suffering or the degradation of the environment. And what I want you to remember is it's not Walmart that's doing this. It's not Ford Motor Company or Goodyear or ExxonMobil or any of those. Because those things don't really exist. It is a bunch of people who are acting in ways that they probably would never act like if it was just them outside of the context of this fictional organization. But it's them doing it, right? If a CEO says, lay off 10,000 workers, those 10,000 workers and their families don't have money anymore. And that guy or woman who laid them off probably would not say, outside of the context of their corporation, I'm going to deprive a whole bunch of people of the ability to eat. But in the context of this fictional organization, they absolutely will do it. And so that's going to be the challenge. You're doing the study guide, but also remember, what you're seeing is not the actions of corporations. You're seeing the actions of individuals who believe in organizations. It's always people acting. All right, that's enough of that. That's it for my only video of this unit, so congratulations, you're done with it. Next up will be the film The Corporation and the study guide that goes with it. And of course, posting on discussion board. Any questions that you have of me, I'm happy to answer either on the content discussion board or in email. And otherwise, I look forward to seeing your guys' impression of this film. I will talk to you soon.